with us here today. Rachel, let's start with you a little bit and learn about social work at IRMC and a really vital link between two different disciplines, I guess might be one way to put it. What does a social worker do at IRMC?
Well, a lot of things. And I'll use the example of when someone is going into the hospital, they're going to meet a team of social workers in there. And they're going to do a variety of things related to discharge planning, getting people the resources or the care that they need when they're coming out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're out of the hospital, you may meet one of us where we're going to see how things are going. You know, did you get the things you needed? Are you safe at home? And are your basic needs being met? Food, housing, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And so you're like a bridge.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you bridge over the gap between the hospital stay and the home recuperation,
Yep.
and you meet whatever needs are out there for that person.
Yep. Our community has a variety of things available. We have a lot of good resources here. And if you're not someone that went through the hospital route to get to us and you're just going to a primary care doctor, the discussions that you're having with your physician or your nurse practitioner, physician's assistant,
Mm-hmm.
you may be identifying some things that are going on in your life. And at that point, you could meet with one of us too, whether it's mental health even, and substance use.
I was going to say, I would guess that there's a lot of work that you could do in the mental health field and work with addiction as well, correct?
We do. A lot of times the primary care office is a comfortable place. You're going there sometimes pretty frequently for your regular health care, and these things are coming up. And we have resources like the Guidance Center that we're referring folks to, or many of the other ones in the community. Or your primary care provider is treating it right in the office, whether it's depression, anxiety, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Michaele Alter with the Community Guidance Center. You are not Dr. Ralph.
No.
But he certainly is a big part of this program, and we speak with him often here. So we know of the Community Guidance Center and the great work that you folks are doing there. You have a primary focus, though, on school children?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me about that, because I'm guessing that it can really run the gamut from elementary and all the way up.
True, yes. I see kiddos in elementary school all the way through high school in many different districts around.
And their needs obviously would be different as comparing, say, a kindergartner or a first grader to somebody who's a junior or senior in high
They
school.
do, yeah. From social skills to behavioral needs, it can change.
Yeah. I would guess those socialization skills among children, they're going to come into a school environment with every different sort of background. You're going to find kids that are outgoing, that have been around other kids. You're going to find children that have never been around other people all that much, and especially in this day and age, in the
I
pandemic
was going to
age.
say right now it's very difficult because the virtual learning. Some kids do great with that, and some
Hmm.
kids are really struggling not being in the classroom with their friends.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That is such a big issue for you to tackle at the Community Guidance Center. And does that play out as well, the socialization aspect, whether you're talking elementary, middle school, or high school?
Absolutely. 'Cause even in high school, learning how to engage with peers, teachers, carries them for when they graduate and they have to have a job working with coworkers and their boss.
Hmm.
So any kind of timeline we can work with.
One of the things that people might have a misconception about is that they're kids. Kids just need time to grow into their emotions, and then they'll be off and running. And we might not actually credit kids for having the mental difficulties or the emotional
Hmm.
difficulties that they do,
Hmm.
and we might tend to dismiss them much more quickly than we should.
Right. They have a lot of pressure. Sometimes they have to step up and be a parent role in the household and they don't get to be a kiddo.
Mhm.
And sometimes they don't have the right vocabulary to express those emotions like you were talking about.
Mhm.
So we can help them learn how to communicate those needs better.
Yeah. And is it primarily one-on-one counseling, or do you work in group settings? How do
So
you do
we
it?
do. It's one-on-one
Hmm.
counseling. It's just like if you were coming to our agency, seeing a therapist there, but we get to go to the school setting.
Hmm.
So it's a very familiar area for them.
Social work is really a broad field, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah, there are a lot of different directions you can go, probably even from your standpoint, where you're zeroed in on mental health issues.
Hmm.
Still, that there are probably all kinds of different roads that you can go down.
Absolutely.
And
Social workers get to do,
Everything.
yeah, we can do policy changes down to working, giving out food,
yeah,
it, really anything.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing when you begin to consider what you must be involved in, and you, Rachel, as well. Because from the patient standpoint at which you approach problems having to do with mental health, addiction, or physical needs, there are just a lot of different avenues that you have to explore as well.
Yeah, I mean, social work, we wear many hats. Our focus is looking at how a person functions in the environment, and trying to break down those barriers, meet basic needs, engage people in the community.
And when we're talking about issues, there are mental health issues, then there are other issues as well, such as, say, insurance that can be a burden on people. And I would assume that you're able to step in some form and work with those folks too.
Yes, and when I started actually with the IRMC Physician Group, I was in a role that was engaging people in getting access to health care. So they were either uninsured or underinsured. And I think really through this pandemic, we've really seen an increase of people kind of coming out,
Yeah.
who are uninsured. So we're looking at programs that they can apply for, and what's available to them.
That microphone drifted away from you there, and it's kind of delicate. So there you go. There you go. Sometimes it does that sort of thing. We need to work on that and get that a little bit better shape there for you. That's the Jack microphone, and Jack hasn't been around for a while, so so it's fallen into neglect. But the work that you do with IRMC Physician Group,
Hmm.
is that something that is referred to you by uh, the physician group itself, or how do you get involved in someone's life?
Really, anyone that touches the doors of IRMC, we can interact with. So it's pretty broad.
Yeah.
But if there's a need that's identified, whether you've been in the hospital, whether you're going to a specialist, whether you're at the community guidance center and there's a physical health need not being met,
Hmm.
they could even end up connecting with us through that route.
Hmm. Cooperation through your agency is fairly common.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And Michelle, of course, you know that that's such a great resource, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the great things about Indiana County that we have found is that there are so many different agencies that are able to approach or attack a situation,
Hmm.
and Community Guidance Center is one of those that a lot of agencies rely upon.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, Social Workers Week or National Social Workers Month. It's a really big field. It covers a lot of territory. You folks are right there in the middle of it, and I want to thank you for coming in this morning and explaining to us about it. You don't generally think of events that you do, but I'm sure that each of you are able to reach out in ways to reach people who might not actually be in a position where they're needing your services now, but just to know that they're there. What are some of those ways?
I would say if you're in your primary care doctor, and you have something specific, just ask.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Our, I can give our phone number too,
Sure.
724 And if you need to reach the guidance center for anything, it's 724-465-5576. And I don't want to forget out. If you find yourself in crisis,
Mhm.
I'll make sure I pull that number up for you too. It
I liked how Michelle sort of shrugged her shoulders there when you gave the Community Guidance Center
Well, I
number
know my
because
work cell phone.
I used to work there too.
I thought it was hilarious. I could tell by the look in her eyes. Boy, I hope you know this whole number.
It's like when
because
they ask for the fax number. I'm like, I have to look it up.
Well, for most people, you have to ask them what is a fax because they don't have those anymore.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. You're finding it there, Rachel, or no?
Yes.
She's on her way to it. Oh, gracious. Just call the IRMC Physician Group and they can set you up. Did you find it?
1-877-333-2776. 2470.
And that is the number of.
That is the Indiana Armstrong County Crisis Hotline. You don't have to be in a crisis, where it's most people think they need to be. If you need help, give them a call.
Yeah. Okay. Give it again then.
1-877-333-2470.
Ladies, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
We appreciate it. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Fox News next.